Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. What is my hair even today? I don't know what's going on with this. In fact, I really don't know what's going on with it anymore. I've just given up on the fact of really ever wearing my hair down at this point. It's just always going to be up. I literally wear this braid like every day. The problem is that my hair is getting really gray and I'm too lazy and just don't really give a shit about my hair turning gray at this point. Is anybody else in their 30s kind of with me on this? Comment down below, but that's just kind of where I'm at. My shirt has a ton of cat hair on it. It is what it is. We're here for the makeup. So we are going to be playing with something brand new and something that obviously, as always, I am really excited for. I haven't really dabbled a lot into Dominique Cosmetics, but this particular item just really caught my eye and I have been dying to test it out. I have had it for nearly a week now. The only thing I have done is swatch this palette. I'm like, that's it. I need to sit down. I need to film this. I need to do this review because I want to see if it is as good as what I think it's going to be. So what I have in front of me from Dominique Cosmetics, this is the Transition Palette. Now, what this palette is supposed to be is basically a one and done. You are supposed to be able to contour, bronze, blush, do your eyeshadow, brighten with this, do your brows with this. This is supposed to be the only real sculpting slash face palette that you're ever going to need. And that whole idea just totally intrigued me. Now, first off, before we even jump into it, I want to insert these swatches that I did. This blew me away, you guys. This formula is just gorgeous. Every single shade swatched so incredibly even. There was absolutely no patchiness. There was extreme pigmentation. They all feel buttery smooth. I personally have never seen consistency like this throughout a palette that is completely matte. You know, every once in a while you might get a shade that feels like a little bit drier, a little bit more chalky, but none of these shades felt that way. Right away I was like, oh my goodness, like this, I feel like this is going to be a game changer and I'm hoping that it goes on just as good as the swatches and feels just as good as well. So all I have on right now is foundation and lip product and setting powder. That's it. There is nothing else going on here. We are going to let this transition palette really do the work. We're going to do everything, brows, the whole thing. Now, like I said, I haven't really played with these on my face at all. So as far as the brows go, I have to kind of find my mix of shades because I have cool toned brow hairs. They definitely are more on the ash side versus being on the warm kind of amber side of things. So that might be a little bit tricky. I really do want to get some brows going here because it drives me insane when I have all this like foundation on and we're very full coverage today. I definitely need some brows. So let's start there. I guess it would help if I actually had a brow brush in front of me. Hold on one moment. Just when you think that you're prepared, you're not. I swear, I feel like I get everything in front of me and I'm ready to go and there's always like one thing that I forget. And oh my goodness, she's out of breath just from going up the stairs once. I need to start working out again. So one thing I do want to also mention is that this palette has a gorgeous, giant mirror on the inside, which I can appreciate. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. There's definitely some weight to this. All right, so we're going to use this brush right here. I'm just going to brush out my brow hairs. So now we need to decide, how am I going to proceed? I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to mix ash and coal together. I don't know how this is going to work, but like I said, we're going to try it out. So I have this angled brush right here. This is from Billion Dollar Brows or something. I don't know where the heck I got this brush. Probably in an Ipsy or something. We're just going to start filling in. As you can tell, the pigmentation is insane. Like I said, this might come off a little bit darker. I can honestly tell you, I am extremely impressed already with how this is blending in. I feel like I can do my entire brow just by dipping in the one time. I used to actually do my brows all the time with a powder. It was actually my preferred way for like the longest time. That actually looks really, really good. At first I was like, ooh, that might be a little bit dark. But I think it's working. It's looking nice and soft. That was so fast. This formula, you guys, is unreal so far. It's just going on so easily. All right, that was way too easy. This looks so good. I'm actually shocked that mixing these two shades down here worked for me. I was actually really nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know if there's something in here that will work for my brows, and it totally does. Totally works. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's work on this face because we really need to warm this up and chisel it out. The only thing that I'm worried about with this is the pan size. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I tried to find some brushes that I think will fit nicely in here. We'll definitely see. I do think to kind of contour, I kind of want to go in with a mix of toffee and caramel. These two shades right here, probably mostly toffee because it is a little bit more on the cool side. So I'm going to be using this kind of angled brush right here. This is a Shayna B contour brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip into caramel and into toffee. So as you can see, it does pick up quite a bit of product. I'm going to tap that off and go on the back of my hand. And we're just going to go ahead and stipple that right here. Okay, so far, that looks like a really good mix of shades. I'm going to dip in one more time to each. Tap and then go on the back of my hand just to make sure it doesn't go on too heavy. And you guys can tell me too as you're watching if this goes on too warm. I don't like when my contour or my bronzer pulls red. A lot of the times I have that happen and I don't want that to happen, but I think that that looks pretty good. I mean, it's a very nice, soft, angled contour. This brush is really nice. I've actually never used this brush before. I got it in an Ipsy. I recently kind of decluttered and went through a ton of the products that I've gotten in subscription boxes and bags and all that. And I discovered so many brushes that I've never used. And I'm lazy and I don't like to clean brushes. So if I can find brushes that I haven't used yet, that I can go ahead and just sit down and film and not have to worry about it, I'm all about it. I think that that turned out beautiful. At least to me, it looks like it blended out really good. Again, let me know in the comments. I'm just gonna go ahead and warm up here. I think that this is actually as far as I would go. I might do a little bit more with caramel alone and use that as the bronze and kind of just bring that up a little bit higher right here. I think that works good. I don't really think I would go in with anything else to try to bronze with. I think those are pretty much my two shades. You could dip into mocha if you wanted to, but that might be a little bit too deep. You could mix mocha with natural right here, this shade, these two, to kind of mute it a bit, but I think that this looks good enough. I think that this looks really good. This is good for me. Now, I do want to go ahead and contour down the nose a bit. I'm just going to stick with the same brush. I don't really do heavy nose contour. I kind of just take the excess of my bronzer or my contour or whatever I have and just kind of pinch my brush and just kind of do like a quick general contour down my nose, and that's good enough for me. All right, now we need to blush. So I'm going to use this powder brush right here to blush with. I think I want to go in with soft and sweet, and I think I want to mix it in with blushing as well. I think that'll make a nice blush for me. So it does kind of almost come off with like a peachy color, and I think that that's perfect. And just to kind of show you guys how these go in the pan. The pan size really isn't that much of an issue, I guess. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is a beautiful shade. Okay, you guys, this palette is really nice. If you are a minimalist, this is going to be your dream right here. If you like more matte products, if you don't want anything with a sheen or a shine, this is going to be your best friend. Me personally, I do prefer a highlight, but we're going to go into that in just a moment. I do want to see, I'm going to set all of this down to get everything, add some moisture back to my face. I'm very dry. I do want to try to brighten under my under eyes. So Kristen did mention that frothy and natural right here are kind of like under eye brightener shades. So I'm just going to take this Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the L12, and I'm going to dip into frothy just a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of gently tap that on the under eyes just to brighten a bit. Yeah, it definitely added a little bit of brightness on the under eyes. So I'm going to stop there with that. Let's go ahead and move on, and let's create an eyeshadow look. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any creasing. I just want to do something a little bit more basic. I just want kind of the face makeup and the brows to kind of shine. I just want a very simple contoured look. So I'm gonna start off with this Morphe brush. I believe this is the M433. I haven't used this in so long, and this is honestly one of my favorite eyeshadow brushes. And I think we're just gonna go back into this shade right here, Toffee. Toffee just screams like the perfect like transition shade to me. Now, as you can see, these shadows are extremely, I should say these shadows, these powders are extremely pigmented. You do not need a lot. Dip in with a very light hand. I think if you were to do the one dip challenge with this palette, it would be cheating because it just works so well. You can get so much color payoff with just one dip. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, you could stop here and just be done just to add a little bit of color to the eyes. I do want to deepen it just a bit. I think I'm going to go in with Mocha, and I'm going to stick with that same brush, just dipping in one time and kind of just focusing that on the outer part of the eye and then bringing that into the crease. God, these powders look beautiful on the skin. I'm looking in my mirror right here and like there's no texture. It doesn't look heavy. It looks very flawless and airbrushed. Let's take it just one little step further and we're gonna dip into the shade right here, Coffee Beans. I'm gonna stick with the same brush, going in one time and just tapping that on the outer part of the eye, and then gently bringing that into the crease. I'm telling you, look at that. That was one time dipping in. The M433 is an absolute dream. I forgot how much I freaking love this eyeshadow brush. This was my go-to brush for the longest time. Like I could create an entire look just using this brush, like honestly. Look at that blend. This is just the most beautiful, simple, smoked out. Now I know I was like, oh, I want to do just a really natural basic eye look, and here we are. Of course I can never stop, but like, wow, these powders are just, they're fantastic. They're fantastic. I take this flat shader brush right here. This is actually from Delium Tools. This is from their Golden Triangle line, and I can't even see, yes I can, the 777 shadow brush, and I'm going to dip into Natural again right here, and I'm going to use that and just put that all over the lid. So I want this kind of more of like a flat shadow brush to really kind of pack this on right here. Beautiful. This palette is truly effortless. Definitely a one and done palette. Like I said, I had a feeling it was going to work really well, but you never know, but it did. It's definitely exceeding my expectations. I'm going to take this Sigma eye shading brush. This is the E55, and I am actually going to go ahead and dip into the shade Blushing right here, and I want to put that on the lower lash line, something a little bit different. Sometimes I like to take a different shade and put that on the lower lash line, sometimes a pop of color to add a little bit of drama. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that she did say there are some new shades in here that were created specifically for this palette, and then there are some other shades that were put in here that are from other palettes that she already has. I'm going to go ahead and dip into Coffee Beans with this brush. I'm going to use that just kind of on this outer part of the eye only, just to kind of smoke it out just a little bit. And let's brighten up the inner corner. I'm going to dip into Frothy with this pencil brush. And I'm going to use that to brighten up the inner corner. Oh, so beautiful, you guys. I usually have a hard time finding shades like this that actually show up and just don't blend out into oblivion. But like, look at this. It's gorgeous. If you are someone who likes more of like a matte highlight, or if you tend to have drier or more mature skin, this is something that you're going to love because it doesn't exaggerate any texture. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the finishing touches, some liner, some mascara, and then I will be right back with my final thoughts. All right, so here is the completed look. I added just a little bit of highlighter from my ABH Nicole Guerrero highlighter kit. In case you are wondering, I just put a tad bit of Glow Getter just so you could very lightly see. Sometimes I feel like a strong highlight on top of a mostly matte look doesn't always look the best, but I think that this looked nice. I did set everything down with my Cover FX Aquamarine Hydrating Crystal Infused Elixir Mix. I swear the names of some of these products are just getting longer and longer as the days go on. Does anyone else feel the same? Nonetheless, I have been obsessed with this. Sometimes when I'm using a lot of powders, I definitely like to set everything down multiple times because, again, as I always say, I am as dry as the Sahara Desert. Now let's get back to the transition palette from Dominique Cosmetics. If you couldn't already tell, I am obsessed. This palette exceeded all of my expectations and actually blew me away even more so than I thought I could be blown away, if that makes sense. The brows shocked me. This was so easy, like so easy. All I did was dip my brush in one time into each shade that I used. Again, I used Coal and Ash. I mixed these two together and it worked beautifully. It was the easiest, fastest brow application I have ever had. I'm going to be honest with you and say that you saw it. You saw me apply it. That is the truth. And the color match is pretty spot on. I definitely could mix maybe a little bit, bring it a little bit, just like a third of the way warmer, but this works for me. I think it matches pretty good. It looks natural. It doesn't look too heavy. I am living for the brows. The contour bronze, absolutely gorgeous. Again, it did pull a little bit warm on me. Again, I can play with this and just play with the different shades and see how I can kind of mix everything together to really customize and make it my most perfect contour or perfect bronze. But nonetheless, I think this absolutely looks gorgeous. I don't see any issues. It looks good. Nobody would look at me and think, oh, her contour looks really bad. Well, they might, but I don't think so. So that's the only thing that matters. These brightening shades right here are a dream. I am just, again, blown away at how beautiful all of these looked on the skin, mixing soft and sweet and blushing. Absolutely gorgeous. The cool thing about this palette is this is going to work for a ton of different skin tones. Pretty much every skin tone can really make this work. I mean, blush shades, bronzer shades, contour, brightening, the whole thing. Even mixing and matching, you can pretty much customize and really get your perfect match, really. They blend gorgeously, and the number one thing that I love the absolute most about this is not just the blendability, but the way that these look on the skin. Being someone who is very dry, this does not look heavy. It didn't suck any of the moisture. It doesn't look chalky, cakey, ashy, thick, none of that. It actually airbrushed my skin, so the way that these powders are pressed in here is genius, effortless. It looks gorgeous. You guys, I cannot wait to play with this palette even more. Create some really killer smoky looks on the eyes. I mean, this is probably going to be my go-to matte palette. It really is next to none when it comes to the texture, the blendability, the fact that they're not drying. It doesn't look dry on my eyes at all. I had zero issues with the blend on any of these. This is just so good. The fact that it has a mirror. I mean, when we're all traveling again, this is the only thing that you would need to pack, and maybe like a highlight palette. I could create pretty much any eye look, any kind of dimension I would want on my skin. I could have two palettes and be good to go, and I wouldn't need anything else. It's perfect. Before we go, I have actually been meaning to do this giveaway for quite some time. This palette has been sitting here forever, and I just keep forgetting to incorporate it into a video. I accidentally ended up with an extra Pure times Raw Beauty Christie eyeshadow palette. This is brand new. I've had this for a couple of months now, and I need to give it away because somebody needs to enjoy this. So I'm also going to throw this in along with some other surprise items, and all you need to do to enter, obviously, is be following me, subscribe to me here on YouTube, and then comment down below your Instagram handle. Let's not talk about the giveaway in the comments per se. Just comment something, either, let's see, what should we say? What is your favorite perfume? That's what I want to know. Comment down below your favorite perfume. Leave me your Instagram handle or a way that I can contact you if you are the winner. And then I will be choosing a winner in a week from now. Obviously, this is only open to United States and Canada. I will put the giveaway details in the description box down below. All that good stuff. And then also, before we wrap it up, I just want to say thank you so much to those who just religiously watch my videos. I see the ones that are commenting, that are interacting with me on Instagram, TikTok. It really means the world to me. I do get down a lot on myself. I have been doing YouTube now. It'll be 4 years in August. I can't even believe that it has been that long. And honestly, trying to do this makeup thing and being on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's really hard. It actually is really tough to keep up with it, especially since I am working full-time again, which I will get into more in a get ready with me style video. I'll talk to you guys more about that, especially dealing with mental health issues like I do, if you guys didn't already know, but I do have plenty of videos that go over all of that. It's challenging, but that's why I love it. It definitely keeps me on my toes. So those that just comment and keep me going and motivate me and make me feel good about this whole thing on my worst days. I just want to thank you. And why not? Let's dedicate this video. I want to dedicate this video to my mom. She has been such a huge, massive support through so many things. So obviously I want to say thank you to her, Allison Jacobs, my friend Braxton Gary, Molly Ezrin, obviously my best friend Sarah, that goes without even saying, obviously, thank you to her, my sisters, my dad, my aunt, my niece and nephew, shout out to Keith, Kiara, and Calvin. You guys are the best kids ever. So yeah, just a shout out, and obviously to my beautiful subscribers and everyone who watches me and supports me, and obviously shout out to friends that I have made through YouTube. I'm sorry if I missed anyone. It's not in any particular order. I love you all. I just really wanted to say thank you, and I just want to say I love you guys and thank you so much for the support. I feel like I'm talking like a mile a minute. I'm also looking in the mirror still, just blown away at these brows. Oh my goodness, I am just living for the brows. It was way too easy. I'm gonna shut up now and hop off of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget about the giveaway. Details are in the description box below. I'm gonna get going. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.